Good morning and welcome back for another adventure in the Blue Ridge Mountains. This is gonna be worth it. I'm gonna have to turn this camera off. We're in eastern Tennessee again today. We came back to the spot where the video from last week ended. It was such an incredible spot that I really wanted to come and spend some time out here. Normally I would show everybody how I got up here, all the rock hopping and this and that, but it was almost an hour and 45 minutes for me to get here from the car. I just want to sit down out here, enjoy this space and nature with everybody. I'm going to show you everything out here as best I can. What a cool area right here. Very, very special. We are deep, deep in the woods right now. No one is around, and I'm excited to share this with everybody for today. What we're gonna do is we're gonna find a spot in here, we're gonna sit down, and we're gonna do some meditation a little bit later in the video. But right now, I really just wanna share this area with everybody. Thank you for being here. Hopefully you're enjoying the journey. If this video brings value to your life, please subscribe for weekly adventures, like the video, and comment below. I'd love to hear from people. Get out there and explore. I had to go off trail, off creek to get up here. There was no way through that area over there. It was so steep and so deep that I couldn't get through there. So I had to go around up through the woods, which normally I don't do, but I think that this is gonna be worth it. Oh yeah. Not sure, hopefully you can hear me. You might be able to see in the video right there, there is a little cave, an indention back there in that rock right there. It's all really, really wet over there. I can't get over there at this point. This is all very swift moving water, of course. The elevation in here is pretty steep, which is why there's so many waterfalls. But there's really no way for me to get over there safely. If you slipped and fell in here, you would head obviously down into there. And while you might be okay, that's not what we're here for today. need to get up there. This is gonna be a tough one in here. Everything in here is covered in moss. It's beautiful, but it's very slippery. Doesn't get a lot of sunshine in here. Yeah, part of this for me is problem solving. I love coming out here and trying to work my way through these areas. Sometimes you can't get through these areas because they're hectic or they're just impassable. But I love the problem solving. The cool thing, of course, is that the path headed up and the path coming down are not always the same. Perspective changes, such as life, and we have to change our course or adjust our course according to where we're headed. This is going to be a doozy. Tight. Gee whiz. All right, I'm gonna have to turn this camera off for a minute. I need to be able to use both my hands to get through here. I'm in a really cool area right here. You know, my goal out here is always to try to leave no trace that I was here. It gets a little bit harder when things are covered in moss and stuff like that because I really don't want to do any damage to any of these trees or anything that's out here. But I need to be able to try to get through here, so I'm going to turn this thing off for just a minute. Nature is a very rewarding place. Sometimes it's waterfalls, sometimes it's mindfulness and peace, other times it's blackberries. Yummy. Little treat out here, thank you. I love it. We made it to the next part of this area right here. I really want to get over there. That is really where I want to do our meditation session, quiet session for today. This area, of course, has been very tricky to get through. When I was out here for the last episode, the water actually wasn't as high. It wasn't rolling as fast as it is now. And some of the areas that were passable before aren't as passable anymore. So we'll have to explore an option to try to get up and over there. I'm not sure if I can go through here and kind of come up behind that rock. Probably hard to tell in the video, but There's a beautiful little eddy area, but it is very deep right there. Being a short kid, I'm not really sure how that's gonna work out. Debris pile right here created kind of a natural dam. Everything got pushed over here, made a nice little backfilled pool, but then it all kind of sucks together to go up and over that right there. And that is where things get swift. That is where things get fast. Anytime that there's elevation and anytime where water is pinched together, forced to come together, it increases the speed and the power. So you have to pay really, really close attention. It would have been nice to be able to come up that rock face over there and kind of go up in here, but that area wasn't really passable either. So we'll just have to see. That's just kind of how it goes. I don't really want to just jump in the water right here to try to get over there. The adventure continues, but what a great area. Pretty amazing stuff. I was able to get across the creek. I was waist deep almost in the water to get across, but I did get across in a quiet little area right here. I want to show you this waterfall right here. It is so loud in here, it is unbelievable. This is probably one of the most special places that I've found. I might say that every time I found these places, but this one is pretty incredible. I want to show you this waterfall that is over here. What an incredible spot out here in the woods. Thanks for being here with me. This channel is about adventure and exploration of the wilderness and the outdoors, but also of ourselves. These videos are going to include a lot of tromping up and down these creeks. They're also going to include a little 5-minute, 8-minute, 10-minute meditation session in them as well. That's what we're going to do in this spot. Got a cool spot right up here next to this waterfall. I'm going to sit down and we're going to do 5 minutes today. I'm going to set my timer for 6 minutes, give me a few seconds to kind of get settled, and then 5 minutes of meditation. I'd love for you to sit down and do this with me. If you don't want to do the meditation, no big deal. Hopefully you can just hang out, enjoy the sounds of the creek, and enjoy being out here in nature with me. Here we go. What an incredible spot out here in the woods. Thank you everybody for joining me on another mindful adventure out here in the Blue Ridge Mountains. We did things a little bit different today. I didn't show any of the work to get up here to this spot because I really wanted this video to be about this spot in the woods. The waterfalls here, the energy just feels fantastic. Hopefully it came across in the video. I appreciate everyone for letting me share that with you. We're gonna do this every week. I'm gonna go out and find some cool spots to explore, sit down, relax, be present out here in nature. Everybody knows how YouTube works. I'd love to hear people's comments below. Tell me about some of the waterfalls that you found. Maybe you don't tell me the spot where it is, but I'd certainly love to hear the story. If you could subscribe to the channel, that would be fantastic. Like the video as well, that would be great. I appreciate everybody being here. Get out there and explore. Enjoy the day.